This afternoon, the story of Cecilia Dapaah and the missing cash is back to the front burner today as the case is called in court for the very first time since the nationwide uproar. And there was not a dull moment in court today with the fresh and shocking details that we are learning of. So what are some of the key issues that you need to know about when it comes to this case? We know that, first of all, the prosecutors have failed to produce the accused persons who are at the center of all of this. The prosecutors also indicating to the courts that the Attorney General may be taking over the case. As to when that will happen, that's what we're about to find out with my colleague who has been to the courts and will give us details shortly. Also, accused persons, we understand they're denying stealing the money from the former minister. That's according to their lawyers. And the story of the accused persons are yet to be told in court, as the accused persons are still in custody. So that's why we're asking the question, what happens to the case? And as we know, the special prosecutor initiating investigations some days ago. Why is the AG taking over now? That's why I want to bring in Richard Kojunyako, who's been in court for us, monitoring developments all day. Richard, ever since the case went viral, this is the first time we're getting to hear from the courts actually what may be accounting for how, first of all, the money got missing. Do we have any updates on that, first of all?
There's an advice from the Attorney General office, and so pretty shortly we'll show them or read them the details to you. But we were in court today, you know. The case had not come to the public attention, and so many of us didn't even know how this case even evolved. So it started, the theft case came to the attention of Cecilia Dapaah, the former sanitation minister, and her husband in October. Right. And so the case was, we read from the Attorney General's brief that it was reported in June. And so these are details that are emerging. But in court today, the two accused who were supposed to be produced by the police prosecutors were not in court. In fact, the police prosecutors indicated that the policemen who were supposed to bring them in court couldn't do that because they had traveled to the northern region, Tamale to be precise, on a similar mission. So they were pursuing something like that. And so that is why they couldn't produce the two accused. But the police also announced in court that they had also apprehended two other persons. In fact, they have charged them. And so now we know of two accused persons that are currently and will be brought in court on the 8th of August when the case was adjourned to. Now, they also announced in court that the Attorney General had indicated to them that they are taking over the case. And so that was really what happened. But the lawyer for one of the accused, Augustine Jemfi, indicated that by the police posturing, they were trampling on the rights of the accused because one of them was granted bail the last time they were in court. In fact, she is a lactating mother, and so the inconvenience of breastfeeding the person in the custody of the police, the baby had to be brought to the police station to be fed and then taken back and all of that. But according to the prosecutors, I mean, they did not meet the bail condition, and that is why the two accused persons are still in court. But he feels that it is in contravention of the 1992 Constitution because the personal liberties of these people have been curtailed. Okay,
before we get into the reasons for which the AG may be taking over this case, you've been engaging some people in court today.
Yes, so that's the lawyer for one of the accused, and he indicated that, well, so that's trampling on the right or the liberties of the people because they feel that even if they had even murdered some people, they have the right, and every case is bailable, and so they do not understand why the accused person, especially the lactating mother, should be treated in that manner.
Supposed to bring all the accused persons to court, but they were not in court. And prosecution gave an excuse that the investigators involved in the matter traveled to Tamale in furtherance of their investigation in Tamale. So they couldn't return to bring them to court. And we, the defense lawyers, tried to push the court to grant them bail whilst the investigation continues. Because we know for criminal cases, the investigation can go on forever and ever. Sometimes, even after sentencing and people have been punished, new evidences come out. So investigation in criminal cases doesn't just end. But my Lord in her wisdom decided to remand them till the 8th of August. So God willing, 8th of August, we'll all be in court to push for bail. For they are entitled to bail. Now, per the popular case of Payable and others, every offense is bailable. However, it depends on the discretion of the judge, and the judge has exercised her discretion not to grant the bail today. So there's nothing we can do. We have to wait for the 2nd August and come back to court. The last adjourned date, A2, was granted bail in the sum of 1 million Ghana cedis, 2 sureties, to produce to produce their Ghana cards. In fact, normally when bail is granted at the court, the practice directive is that it is the registrar of the court who interprets the bail condition. The only role of the police is to look at the house or the abode of the sureties. But this one, when we went to the police station, the special intelligence unit, they themselves have taken it upon themselves to investigate and interpreting the court order, which to me is wrong and just obstructing justice delivery system, because police are not supposed to interpret the court orders. It is the duty of the registrar of the court. So it was incumbent upon the CID in this matter to bring the accused person to the registrar, for the registrar to pick the docket that the judge entered the bill and interpret and see if their sureties qualified to stand as what? Sureties for them. But they took it upon themselves. And you know, our system, police were saying all sort of funny things. I can't mention them here. The prosecutor informed the court that AG is preparing to take over the matter. And I, in my personal opinion, I feel if the AG is desirous and respects the judicial processes, they should have come to court today to tell the court that we want to take up the matter. However, certain so and so are not in place. Therefore, we need 1 or 2 weeks to be able to take up the matter. You don't sit in your office and you instruct a police prosecutor to tell the court that you want to take. No, some of this, we see it as some of these gimmicks to deny people of the justice that they need. You know, this matter, there are so many strengths here and there, and we know it is one of those tactics employed to keep the people in cells. Please, I tell you, my client has not stolen any money from anywhere. Nobody has that kind of amount in her wardrobe. But since we came every day, they said they've made some arrests. Every day they are arresting. So is that the effort to try the case? If you are making an effort to try the case, appear in court. You don't come and tell court, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. No, come to court for us to know what the steps that you are taking that warrant the court to grant you further time or date for preparation. If you don't come to court, you sit in your office and say, I need 1 week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Is that how things should be done in the system?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We believe the people are being kept for no apparent reason.
Also, that's the lawyer, I believe, for the accused.
One of the accused.
One of the accused, and we need to be very clear about that. But before we delve into the details as to some of the items that they confess into that may have been missing now, let's look at the aspect about the Attorney General and what we know about the reasons for which the AG is deciding now to take over this case, which investigations were initiated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Well, so when we went to court, the prosecutors indicated that, in fact, they have investigated the case up to a certain point, but they received some notice from the Attorney General's office that they have now taken over the case. In fact, you heard the point the lawyer made earlier, that they expected the Attorney General to be in court today to announce that they have fully taken over the case, and so he had issues with that one. But let's look at they advise the AG because the fact
because that's very crucial. Understanding why the Attorney General is taking the decision they're taking now.
Yes.
Probably we share excerpts of what's coming through from the AG's office on that.
Yes.
But what reasons are we getting really?
Well, so Cecilia Dapaah, as stated in her initial complaint to the police on the 1st of July 2023, that $800,000 belonging to her deceased brother and 300,000 Ghana cedis of contribution towards her mother's funeral contained in a box and a bag respectively were stolen. And this is confirmed by Henry Osei-Kwabena, who told the police on 4 July 2023 that he brought the box of money to her sister for safekeeping.
Wow.
Notwithstanding the confirmation by Cecilia Dapaah's brother, it is important for the police to conduct independent investigations into these assertions to ascertain the true ownership of the amount of $800,000, the sources or the source from which the established owner of the amount of $800,000 acquired the money. So, the next point is whether the accused actually stole the full amount of $800,000 from the house of the complainant.
Okay, so that's critical because over the period we've been hearing allegations and unconfirmed reports, people sharing their own accounts of why the money may have been stolen and who the money may have belonged to. The minister is giving us a sense now that 800,000 first tranche belonging to her deceased brother. That's the official account we're getting.
They gave it to her for
an additional $300,000
from Ghana cedis from funeral contributions.
Interesting. We'll get into the details. Let me also invite into this whole conversation lawyer Martin People, who's been with us. Hello, counsel. Thanks for spending some time with us here on the Pulse. You've seen the position of the Attorney General on this, the fact that they will be taking over the case. We'll be going into other aspects. My colleague Richard Kojinyako also here with us. And if you're out there, you want to be a part of the conversation, the numbers will be on the screen for you to also share your views. But counsel, the decision, first of all, by the AG to take over the case, even as the OSP continues with its investigations. How are you receiving that?
Yes, blessed. And I like your look at in the FO coffee, right? Let me tease you on it. Okay, yes, FO coffee. Yes, let's straighten something here. My understanding is that the AG is only taking over the stealing aspect. In other words, the AG is taking over all the offenses, save those that are corruption and corruption related. Let's go over in another sense. So the OSP is currently dealing with the corruption and corruption related offenses. And that is what the OSP Act 959 gives the OSP the mandate to deal with. So any other offense, so something like stealing, on the face of it, doesn't belong to the OSP. It's for the Attorney General. So that is where the Attorney General comes in. So it cannot be the case that the Attorney General is taking over everything. No, the OSP will not even allow it. So this is what we'll have, that the AG will deal with stealing and any other offenses, and then the OSP will deal with the corruption and corruption-related offenses, and especially, you see the lifestyle audit, which is already yielding good results. So that, let's note that the OSP investigation has two layers. There's a criminal one, and then apart from that, the corruption and corruption-related. So that, or let's say apart from that, the OSP is also doing a lifestyle audit. So under that one, even if we don't find any crime, and it turns out that Madame Dapaah has property that she cannot account for, then those will be confiscated. And so that is the low-hanging fruit we should be very excited about as citizens. But let's give it further.
I see. But then the implication of getting a conviction of these two young girls who are at the center of this whole controversy, if they get convicted, that may prove perhaps the innocence of the minister, because officially she's stating the source of the monies that were allegedly taken or stolen from her residence.
I don't think that it necessarily follows that in the event that the persons on the stealing offenses, the stealing charge, that's the case before court, are convicted, then it follows that Madame Dapaah is free. No, there are two different sets of offenses and investigations. As I've said, the stealing is one thing. It's not within the purview of the OSP. Soon we'll be coming to that to ask for amendment so that in the event that the OSP is saddled with such an investigation, it should be given the chance automatically to expand the investigation. Currently, he has to seek the consent of the Attorney General, or the Attorney General has to agree. And that's very tacky and untidy. But we'll push that on another day. So let's concentrate on this. You see, as I've mentioned, the OSP, the lifestyle audit, is anchored on Article 286 Clause 4, which says that if a public officer is found with any property and the property cannot be justified, that is to say, if that public officer cannot attribute that property to inheritance, income, loan, okay, then it means that that property has been unlawfully acquired, so unexplained wealth and illicit wealth. So in this case, though Madame Dapaah's case is that the $800,000 belongs to a deceased brother, that's not the end of the matter. Okay?
I say, yeah.
Once investigations are gone into, so this is what will happen. Retrieved from the other case, okay? Once it is proven that those properties don't belong to Patience Butchie, Mr. Butchie, Malik Dada, etc., then it means that yes, those properties are the ones Madame Dapaah is talking about. And I'm saying that Madame Dapaah will not automatically get those properties if she cannot explain how those properties came about.
I get that, but what's the position of the law really on the liability on the person who's receiving, say, a donation or maybe a gift, or you're holding that in trust for someone, an amount close to $800,000 US, for instance, at home?
Good. So ordinarily, if you're looking at pure law, what the law says is that if somebody gives you a colossal sum of money, and in your own estimation, you think that is beyond the person's means, yes, there's a duty to report, except that we don't apply that law. It's in the Act 29. If you see a crime, you are supposed to report, and failure to report itself is a crime. But, you know, because they are relations, and as I've said, we don't often use that provision. So now that this is come, maybe you can hammer it more and more, that citizens should know that, look, if it's clear to you that somebody's brought you huge sums of money or left you in the care of property that you yourself, you can see that the person cannot own, you have a duty to report. If you don't report yourself, it's a crime if it's subsequently found. So that's theoretically. But on the facts of this case, I don't think we have enough facts to be able to indict Madame Dapaah, except I've seen on the internet people who have said that that deceased brother, they have said that it's a shoemaker, that's neighbors, something that's going around on the internet and it's published on Ghana web. So it's for citizens.
Okay. Counsel, let's try one more time. We lost you briefly on the point you're making. If you just take that for us again. You were talking about the video or the flyers in circulation.
And make their own conclusions. People have said that, no, the person they are talking about will...
We'll try and re-establish connections. Counsel, are you still with us? We lost you briefly.
As I said, I'm not in a position to verify that, but I can bring that to you. The brother is dead. If the brother is found, as I said, confiscation will be the way to go.
Okay, we lost you briefly, but then going forward, it appears that we lost Lawyer Martin People there who was just giving us a sense of what's going on.
One question comes to mind, and the incident happened in October according to the Attorney General's advice and then the docket on it. So, but the first arrest and the complaint was done in June. So between October and June 27, when the first arrest was effected, and then the subsequent arrests were also done, what really happened within that space? And so that's what the question many people are asking, that the first accused, who is the 18-year-old, was employed to clean the compound of the former Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. And then the second accused, also an employee of the minister, was also in the household. And so she had access to the bedroom of the former minister. And so the two of them, according to the first accused, two sets of the keys were given to her to duplicate. And so she was caught in the process. But we heard the lawyer saying that, well, the client had stolen nothing. But according to the police, that is based on the Attorney General's advice, that they arrested the first accused in Tamale, where he has spent some of the money, including buying a house, including renting a store, giving some of the money to the boyfriend, the father, and all of that. And so these are some of the details that are contained in the docket at the Attorney General has shared.
The point about even the case itself, the fact that we've been shifting the narrative mostly onto the political appointee, former now, Cecilia Dapaah. How about the two individuals involved here?
Yeah, we are doing the right thing. You see, the two individuals, we have scarce resources. So we can see that the bigger problem is the source of that huge sum of money. So it tells you the way citizens are very smart. Yes, it tells you that we see that there's a bigger problem, such a colossal sum of money. Money that, by some accounts, can build 14 schools, etc., right? So we are interested in finding out where that money came from, so that if there is
we're having some challenges here today, but yeah, well, point well made. When next are we in court, and what are we to expect?
So the 8th of August, we are expected to be in court, but there is also some conflicting. Initially we had 5 persons, the 2 accused that are currently standing trial, and then 2, the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend, and 1 other person, so making 5. So the police announcing that 2 more persons have been arrested. Does it mean that we have 5 of the people that are currently standing trial in this particular matter? And then I would want the lawyer Martin People, when he comes around, about the issue of human rights. The lawyer for one of the accused raised, Augustine Jemfi, raised that, well, one of them was a lactating mother, and so it does not augur well for the health and the psyche of the mother, and then the baby that is being breastfed while the mother is in police custody. And so these are issues that are also arising.
For our viewers, let's just give them a recap of some of the items that were allegedly stolen from Cecilia Dapaah's residence. So
we have a cash of $1 million. We have another cash of 300,000 euros. We also have cash of 350,000 Ghana cedis. And so, and then we have 6 pieces of assorted kente valued at 90,000 Ghana cedis. We have 6 sets of men's suits valued at $3,000. We have assorted clothes valued at 95,000 Ghana cedis. We have assorted handbags valued at $35,000 US. And so these are some of the things that we are talking about. And then the last 2 items that were left out were assorted perfumes worth $1,400 and assorted jewelries valued at $95,000. And so these are the items that we are talking about. So some of the items include, so we have cash and other things that have also been cost.
Okay. Lawyer Kwebu is back with us. And counsel, we'll ask you briefly the point about the accused now. Look at the items allegedly stolen. If that's found to be true, what are the implications for these young girls?
Okay, good. It's good you've asked this question. Number one, please, can we do something about the first accused, Patience Butri? You can see from the facts, we are told that at the time they are...
We seem to have very poor connection today. Yeah, okay, let's see.
So under the law, when a person in conflict to the law is under 18, that person is called a juvenile. And the justice system has a special regime, has special provision for such. We are supposed to protect the privacy of the child.
Okay. The issue of our privacy, did that come up in court?
No, it didn't come out. So we are also conflicted as to whether she clocked 18 at the time the crime was committed or at the time of the arrest. That was June 27 when she was arrested. So, but it is 18 the police prosecutors maintained.
So that's the official age?
Exactly, 18.
But then at the time the crime was committed,
we do not know whether they stated the 18 years at the time the crime was committed or currently she is 18. But they are treating the person not as a juvenile. So it means that the person is not under 18 where she will be qualified or she will qualify to be called a juvenile. But now she is 18 and the police, they are treating the person as if the person is a fully grown or fully fledged adult.
But we didn't see them in court today.
Yeah, so the prosecutors failed to produce them in court. They said that they were in pursuit of some other things in the northern region as a result of the same case, and so they couldn't produce these two accused persons in court.
When next are we expecting them?
So the 8th of August, so we are expecting that per the announcement that was done in court by the prosecutors, the Attorney General will come, and then because the police prosecutors are pursuing the stealing aspect of this money, they would be following or they will be prosecuting the stealing aspect. We have been told by lawyer Martin Pegu that there is another strand, and that is what the special prosecutor is also pursuing. And so we are hoping that the AG will be in court on the 8th to prosecute. And we are not expecting that it is only the two people or the two persons that will be standing trial, but the announcement by the police prosecutors that they have apprehended and indeed gone ahead to charge them, we also see such persons also in court.
Any sign of Abena Dapaah or any assigns, any relatives in court today?
Well, so when I was in court, I was giraffing, I was craning my neck to see whether she or the husband or any other members of the family would be in court, but surprisingly, none of them was in court today.
I see. Well, Richard, we'll keep monitoring the space and bring our listeners up to speed with what's happening. And there are questions even as to why she decided to resign, if indeed she's the one making the claims as we speak.
Yeah. So, she gave the reasons. She gave the reasons why she resigned. She indicated that she didn't want to bring the government along with this case so she's resigning to fight this case in court. And so that is why she resigned. Okay,
Richard, thank you. And thanks for staying with us here on The Pulse. When we get back, we'll bring you some more stories, plus some of your reactions to the stories that we've brought to you so far. We're also paying attention to that meeting happening in Abuja as we speak. The chiefs of military of all the West African states meeting today over a possible deployment of soldiers into neighboring, Niger, following the coup d'etat that transpired there. What will be the implication? Plus the Ghanaian community raising concerns that will bring you reactions shortly. Please stay.